Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Discworld Noir. Couple of things first before I start. Those of you who have watched Cold Fear, I've run into some problems with that game. Until I find my other controller, I'm not going to continue it. I tried doing it just now. Unless I find my Xbox kind of controller, I'm not going to continue that game. And to be honest, I've lost interest in it. At the moment, so I will try and get it done before the end of the year, but I'm not going to be working on it right now. I'd much rather do this game, so let's continue. So I'm only going to do this for about 20 minutes or so. It's late at the minute and I'm getting tired, so yeah, may even be a little bit shorter than that, but I'll probably just cut the video short and then continue tomorrow.
There was no use trying to talk to the golem. It couldn't speak. The golem was loading wine barrels onto the cart, calmly and diligently. I would have pitied it, but there didn't seem much point. It was just magically animated clay. I knew full well that I wouldn't be able to get down there without permission and the right key. I guess I never really noticed that the Cafe Ankh had a wine cellar before. Perhaps if they'd run out of drinks at the bar, I'd have been more inclined to investigate. A good-looking crowbar. It looked like it had a good heft, too. The cart was being loaded with barrels of wine. Apart from the wine, I can't say I was interested. I figured the golem wouldn't notice that the crowbar had gone missing. Not that I'm saying it didn't need it, just that I'd figured I'd get away with stealing it.
And right now, I actually feel too tired to continue this at the minute. It's late. I just feel really knackered. It's just going to hit. And as soon as it does, it will be the next day. I'll see you then. Well, I'll see you in a sec. A sec for you. A couple of seconds for you guys. About 6 hours or 7 hours for me. Alright, it's now the next day. It's now currently 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, and I left you guys about 1:30 in the, well, 1:30, probably 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just too hot this morning, and I was tired. I just couldn't focus very much, but I'm back now. I've got a nice trusty bottle of energy drink on my desk. Is it open? It is now. Oh. Pros and cons about putting an energy drink in the fridge. When you open it, there's a big hiss of as the air escapes. Anyway, let's go into the Cafe Ankh.
You can't recall if the whiskey knocked you flat, or if everything was a blur when you met her. All that you remember are the tunes of a vampire, a melancholy tune about impending doom. I'll fetch your tankard, fill it to the brim. A cask of stale, broken drum ale. Wondering how long till you meet again on the bank of the Ankh. Too much to drink, you could barely even think. Too much bear
That was a
hug.
glitch.
I thought I told you never to play that song again. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lewton. It's just I wasn't expecting you to call by tonight, and... You weren't expecting me? It's only been 8 years, Samael. I guess my memory ain't what it used to be. I don't know why Samael put up with my temper. He could have broken every bone in my body if he'd wanted to. But that's what made him special, I guess. That he'd take almost any kind of abuse from the clientele, and he'd still be there at the piano, playing better than anyone else in Ankh-Morpork. I decided not to disturb Samael while he was working. The pianist, Samael, was one of Cafe Ankh's greatest assets. Not only was he a first-rate musician, but there was something about him that made you think it'd be a bad idea to start any trouble.
Huh.
The captain of the Milka, Captain Jenkins, didn't seem to be a very happy man. Are you Captain Jenkins?
That depends on who's asking.
Don't play games. I'm just after a few answers.
That song really put you in a bad mood, didn't it?
If you're trying to get me angry, it's working.
No need to get upset. You need to drink more and think less.
If I drank any more than I do now, I'd never think again.
That's the ticket.
So, you're the captain of the Milka.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
Ordinarily, I'd be happy being a captain of a fine ship like the Milka. But after this last voyage, I'm thinking of taking up farming.
Tough journey?
I don't want to talk about it.
I was hoping you'd let me have a look around on the Milka.
I was hoping that I was going to make enough money to be able to buy myself a harem of exotic dancers called Chantel. But it looks like we're both going to be disappointed.
What was so bad about the last voyage?
I told you I don't want to talk about it.
Sometimes it helps to talk about these things.
Why would I want to talk about it?
All right, let's put that another way. I want to talk about it, and the sooner I finish talking to you, the sooner you can get back to drinking.
By that logic, my best bet would be to just ignore you and carry on drinking.
I was never much good at logic. I did home economics at school.
Alright, so let's ask him about Mundy.
I understand you were carrying a man named Mundy on your ship.
What's it to you?
I was hoping to find him.
Owes you money, does he?
No, he's an old friend.
Him? You must think I'm as drunk as I look.
Aren't you?
Well, okay, so maybe I am. What did you want to know?
Where is he now?
I've no idea. We picked him up in Tsort a couple of weeks ago and we brought him here. That's about all I want to know about him.
Did he say what he was coming to Ankh-Morpork for?
I think he said he was meeting someone.
Who?
Now, I can barely remember my own name, let alone something I overheard through a doorway last week.
The Milka looks like a good ship.
You know nothing about ships, do you? She looks like exactly what she is. A run-down tramp schooner with no future.
Any chance I could look around her anyway?
All I want to do is get the cargo loaded and get out of this god's-forsaken city. I don't need people snooping around on board.
Alright, let's have a look. What else have we got to ask him?
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
There's no one I know.
On your last voyage, there were 3 passengers, right? Mundy and 2 others.
You tell me. You seem to know more about my ship than I do.
I just want to know what you can remember about them.
I remember that we picked them up in Ecclepon, and I know they had a lot of cargo. Oh, and one was a woman, and one was a man, I think.
You think he was a man?
There was something particularly foreign about him. I'm not sure what.
Where's Ecclepon?
Up near the hub. God's forsaken place. All there is to do there is drink and eat fish sandwiches with no tops on.
Sounds like a long way from the Circle C.
We got lost, all right. It's easy to mix up port and starboard when you've drunk too much port.
Are they still on board?
Nope, we dropped them in Ankh-Morpork. And before you ask, I have no idea what they were doing here. That's not my business.
I was beginning to realize that Captain Jenkins only had 2 questions to ask his passengers. Where are you going? And how much money have you got?
Oh. Thought I lost the thing there.
Has there been a dwarf around asking questions?
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Tempting as it was, I decided not to start attacking people with the crowbar. I'll see you around, Captain.
Alright, over here we have Novi.
My old friend Nobby from the Watch. I hadn't spoken to him in ages. Hello, Nobby.
Hello, Lewton. How you been keeping?
I've been worse. Of course, I've been better, too. And I've been a hell of a lot better and not much worse.
That's good, isn't it?
Don't worry. If Commander Vimes sees us together, I'll tell him I made you talk to me.
It's not that I don't like you, Lewton. I mean, we was friends and all. But it's just, well...
It's just he'd bite your head off if he saw you talking to me.
He'd go spare.
How you been keeping, Nobby? How's the rest of the Watch?
Not so bad, Lewton. Been keeping myself busy. Been working with Sergeant Colon.
How is old Fatty Colon?
Still fat. I'll tell him I saw you.
No, you won't.
Okay, so maybe I won't. I was just being trite.
Polite.
Yeah, that's the one.
I guess I never really understood why it was that you didn't get kicked out as well, Nobby.
Me? I ain't never done nothing wrong.
Don't give me that, Nobby. When you were serving as quartermaster under the Duke of Pseudopolis, it was widely known that several items from the stores were found in your kit.
That was all above board. I had all the paperwork for him.
Your kit at the time consisted of 2 warehouses. I just think Vimes had a grudge against me.
Lewton, I know you're my friend and all, but you took a bribe.
Are you trying to tell me you never took a bribe?
Never.
The ham from Harga's House of Ribs?
Evidence.
The pocket clock from the suicide in the shades?
I wanted something to remember him by.
The money in the petty cash box?
Mislaid by someone.
Misappropriated by you.
I never misanthropated anything.
I just want to understand why it was that you could get away with all your petty theft, and I couldn't get away with one act of weakness.
Well, you see,
Just say it, Nobby. I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Well, I reckon Mr. Vimes thinks that a bit of petty theft ain't something to get excited about. I ain't admitting anything, mark you. Nothing's ever been proved. Compared to some of the stuff that goes on in this city. But someone who's taken a bribe, well, that's like allowing the rich to avoid justice.
That wasn't why I did it.
I know. But you know Vimes.
Yeah, I know Vimes all right. What's Vimes up to these days?
He got married.
Married? He was only ever married to his job.
Nah, straight up. He married into nobility.
Old Stoneface in the nobility. That'd drive him crazy.
Well, he's sort of nobility himself now.
What?
They made him commander of the Watch. And we got a great new premises down on Pseudopolis Yard. They're full of paintings and vases and all sorts.
Full?
Well, maybe not as full as when we moved in, but pretty full.
I'll have to call round sometime.
Yeah, that'd be good. We got a lot more members in the Watch these days. And we got a new dartboard.
Life in the fast lane, huh? Do you seriously think it's a good idea for me to call around? I mean, Vimes isn't gonna like it.
Whatever you may think about him, he's loyal to his job. I can't say he'll welcome you with open arms, but he won't stop you.
Alright, let's have a look. What we got?
Do you know anything about a man named Mundy?
I'm not getting drawn into anything while I'm off duty. Wait till I'm back at the yard.
Have you heard of the Milka? It arrived in town a short time ago.
How long ago?
3 days.
That's strange.
Why?
Well, there's been a string of odd murders in the last 3 days.
What do you mean, odd? I mean, this is Ankh-Morpork we're talking about.
I'm not sure I should discuss the details with a pavilion.
A civilian, Nobby. How much have you had to drink?
I'm as sober as the day I was born.
That's a frightening thought.
And we have a new location.
Has there been a dwarf around asking questions?
Can't this wait till I get back to the yard? I'm off duty.
Do you know anything about some passengers that came into town by ship a few days ago?
That's not much to go on.
You're a corporal in the watch. You're supposed to have a keen, insightful mind.
They brought that regulation in after I joined.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
I'm not getting drawn into... Wait.
Alright, Nobby.
I'll catch you later, Nobby. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, don't get caught doing anything I wouldn't do.
Alright, so we need to go now on the Milka, because obviously there's something on that ship these guys have left, and we also have to wait for Nobby to get back to the yard. So this is probably one of the best bits of the whole game. So I'm going to save some odd bits that I find hilarious. Let's get our crowbar out.
I didn't much like being jammed into a crate and loaded onto the ship, but I could think of worse fates. Like being jammed into a crate full of rats and loaded onto the ship. What's your name then, little fellow? The hold was dark and dank, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. The bilge water was littered with flotsam that looked like the remains of a smashed crate. I thought I could see a label amongst the wreckage. I pulled the label out of the wreckage. It had writing on it that I couldn't understand. It looked lived in. The question was, by what? There was nothing of value in the debris. The doors led into the passengers' stateroom. They had intriguing written all over them, possibly because a bored sailor had engraved it there.
What's he say about leading back to the hole? The hold, not hole.
The hold wasn't somewhere I was in a hurry to go back to, but the ladder was there in case curiosity overruled common sense. In my job, it usually did. A perfectly ordinary bunk bed. A bunk bed like any other. I searched one of the bunks but found nothing useful, and nothing I wanted to think too closely about. I searched a bunk and found a small scrap of cardboard. It could have been anything. There was a number on the back. Either a 6 or a 9. It was hard to say. I'd managed to remain hidden on the ship, but I knew my luck couldn't last forever, because I'd stopped being lucky around age 12. The first mate looked less than happy, but I don't think he saw who I was as I dived in elegantly on my hunt. Fortunately, the crust of the Ankh was soft that night, and I escaped both injury and discovery, although I needed 2 baths just to feel dirty.
And we're back at our office, but we need to go now and see.
I headed over to Pseudopolis Yard, but Nobby wasn't there yet. I decided to come back later.
Is he still at the Cafe Ankh? No, he's gone. There we go.
You could say this about Nobby. Deep down, he was a good man. Well, deep down, he was probably a man. Good might be stretching it a bit. Hello again, Nobby.
Hello, Lewton.
Did I disturb you?
No. What made you think that?
Well, there appears to be smoke coming from your ear.
Oh, that, well, I've been working hard, you see.
Working so hard that your ears have caught fire. Don't worry about it, Nobby. It's not like I'm going to report you.
I have been working, see?
Oh, sure. I never doubted it for a second. Has there been a dwarf around asking questions?
I don't know.
I don't suppose you've investigated the passengers on the Milka, have you?
Of course I have.
Sorry, but you're not the most, diligent of investigators.
I work as hard as any man of my rank.
You're the only man of your rank. There's 3 dwarfs, 2 troll, a woman and a zombie with the same rank as you, but you're the only human male. I know you're human because you carry a bit of paper to prove it, signed by the midwife. The maleness, I'll take that on trust.
Do you want me to help you or not?
What have you got?
Well, I interviewed one of the passengers.
What did you learn?
That's official watch business.
You didn't learn anything, did you?
Not as such, no.
Any chance I could interview this passenger?
I don't see why not. She's down in the Cafe Ankh now.
Well, that's something, I guess. What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
Never heard of him.
Have you learned anything about the Milka?
Yeah, not as such, no.
You go to great lengths to conceal how little work you do, don't you?
Hey.
Do you know anything about a man named Mundy?
Never heard of him.
Any word on these murders?
Nothing yet, but our top investigators are working on the case 24 hours a day.
Nobby?
Yeah?
Are you one of those crack investigators?
Yeah? Why?
Pardon me?
Never mind. Just a thought. How's work treating you then?
Not so bad, Lewton. I've been busy, though. Rushed off my feet.
Yeah, I can tell. Catch you later, Nobby.
Alright, let's leave.
The troll stepped out of the shadows like light was too intimidated to illuminate him. He seemed like the quiet sort, but you got the feeling that if you stepped out of line, you'd get your teeth kicked down your throat. For that matter, he could kick your throat down your chest and your chest through your legs. But I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, because none of my clothes would fit.
Find Therma.
Sorry, friend, I don't understand.
Find Therma.
You want me to find Therma? Is that it? Well, what is it? A person? A thing? Look, if we're going to carry out a conversation, it'd help for you to talk.
Find Therma.
Okay, find Therma. What's your name, friend? There was something about a troll that big that made you want to call him friend.
Malachite. Find Therma. You've got to find her.
I wasn't about to argue with a troll that could twist my head off and use it as a cocktail onion. Okay, friend, what can you tell me about her? Any suggestions of where I should start looking?
Used to sing at the Octarine Ballad. Find Therma. Got to find Therma.
How can I contact you?
Find Therma.
That was all he said. I guess he wasn't very bright. But then there's things under damp logs that are brighter than most trolls.
Alright guys, I'm going to finish that video here. We've done a little bit more today. I'm not going to work on this as much. I'm going to get back into doing Final Fantasy VI. The sooner I finish that game, the more I can work on this. I've been thinking while I've been recording this, while I'm working on this, I can't continue this until I finish that game. So I'll upload the first part, which you guys would have already seen. But I don't know when this part will go up at the time of recording. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.